So good morning to everybody. Welcome to our web workshop, Increase Productivity with ChatGPT and Microsoft Teams integration to Dynamics 365 ERP, Business Central, and CRM. We are recording the session. Any of you want the recording of the session, you will be receiving some contact information from us after the event is closed. Just request it to our marketing team. Aside from that, if you also want copies of our PowerPoints or documentation from today, we will also make it available. But we do need requests directly to us. So I know we're on the hour. One thing is I always like to give people a little bit of a chance to finish logging in. So I think we're getting a person or two every 5 seconds still. So with that said, we're about to start. And as we start, one thing is I'm going to make a prediction here. And as ChatGPT is becoming the fastest adopted technology, and I'll explain that in a second, in the next video that I'll be discussing with you guys in history to date. So that's my prediction. That's my opinion. I don't think I'm far from it based on my experiences right now deploying the technology and interacting with Microsoft. Microsoft just invested 10 billion US, that's 10,000 million in ChatGPT. We're already using it also on Bing for searching. So with that said, can we put the video on, Sandra or Maria? So we need to bring all of this in context. We've seen the stock of Google tank as of yesterday. Investors already hitting the panic button, and they're basically asking the possibility for Google's parent company Alphabet to spin off YouTube. As you see here, by the way, I need to update this. India just surpassed China and the world's biggest population. But when we took a look at that, if we were going to take some of these technologies, make them a nation, we definitely are seeing here trends of how many people are belonging to a technology or to a virtual nation. What you're seeing right now here in Alibaba, and you saw there, that's not new. That's recent, and this is from the intro. I said it took to reach 50 million people. It took Angry Birds 35 days, and you saw there how many years it took the TV and the telephone. So my prediction is ChatGPT has already passed. Definitely has already passed that record set by Angry Birds. Something with technology. And this is the point we're trying to make here. By the way, this video, this content was made by our internal team. A picture paints 1,000 words, a video 1,000,000. Is how fast we're adopting technology, and we've been living it. And sometimes understanding that Uber is the biggest transportation company in the world right now, understanding that Airbnb is the biggest hotel company or hospitality company in the world, and none of them own the assets, right? Alibaba, the biggest retailer in the world. So we're going through a very quick adoption of technology. Our point to this is we can't take ChatGPT for granted. It is quickly accelerating, and it's not a technology just to have fun or cheat on your homework, which is, let's say, what's getting most of the media attention. But the jump in productivity that we've seen in Optimus and our internal deployment of it in the last 2 weeks is just mind-boggling. So also with technology, and I love that, that slide is changing human behavior. How could this change human behavior? I think we've all saw how Google search engine changed human behavior forever, how we do projects, how we research, et cetera, et cetera. And now that, and I don't want to play the COVID card too much here, but now that we just went through this COVID interruption, the technology adoption of mobile devices, of technology is through the roof. I've never thought that my mother would ever be using Teams and using Zoom technologies at this point in time, right? She was always a Facebook person, but now her yoga classes are still through Zoom and Teams. So digital transformation, it's here. It's here to stay. I hope that this video, which is really a lot of research from our team, right? And you just saw, 2 months ago, China's population was on top of India's. 2 months, a couple of months ago, a lot of, the information here, we have to start adding ChatGPT to this video here. And
so what is ChatGPT? ChatGPT, it's let's say it's a chatbot mixed with a Google Assistant, Alexa, Microsoft Cortana, Apple Siri. It's basically you can combine all of those, and you'll get ChatGPT, but even better. Imagine that. So what basically ChatGPT does. It'll take its whole internet data, uses the whole internet as its database, and it'll read through it, depending on what you question it or what you write. It's gonna compile all of that info extremely fast, and it's gonna give you the best possible answer to whatever you're asking it to do. So imagine it's also a translation tool. It can also work as a writing tool. It's absolutely for everything. It's almost like talking to a human being. What's Microsoft investment in OpenAI? So Microsoft has recently, in the last month, it's invested 10 billion into OpenAI, the company that created ChatGPT. And it's it's Microsoft has been the biggest investor in this company and in this technology. And so their benefit is from this, Microsoft is gonna be getting early access, or it's gonna be getting the best support from OpenAI and their technology. One of them being ChatGPT, and for Microsoft to be able to implement them in their tools. So here onto what Hector was saying earlier, ChatGPT's adoption rate. It has definitely as answering his question. Yes, it is the fastest. ChatGPT has the fastest adoption rate compared to any other service or new technology in the last like 2 decades. Here in the image we can see ChatGPT's sprint to 1 million users. Netflix took 3.5 years to get to 1 million. Kickstarter took 2.5, also did Airbnb, 2.5 years. Twitter took 2 years, Foursquare 13 months, Facebook 10 months, Dropbox 7 months, Spotify 5, Instagram 2.5 months, and ChatGPT just took 5 days to reach 1 million users. Here in this video, we can see It's Sprint to 100 million user. Telephone took 75 years. Mobile phone took 16 years to 100 million users. Netflix 10 years. Twitter 6 years. Gmail 5 years. Facebook took 48 months. Instagram took 30 months. TikTok, which was the fastest one to 100 million users, took 9 months. And now ChatGPT blew everyone out of the water with just 2 months getting to 100 million users. So ChatGPT has definitely been it has been a disruptor, and I mean its reason, its way of reaching that such high numbers in such a little amount of time, it's easy way of interacting with it. It's basically almost like talking to a human. You talk to it, you question it, you treat it as a human, it'll answer to you. It'll do anything you ask it for. So now jumping into the ChatGPT Google Chrome extension walkthrough. First of all, so its extension works in it's like a Google Chrome search or a Google search engine helper. And when you add it to your browser, you're gonna get a ChatGPT window to the right of anything that you look for in Google. So when you look for, let's say, how to install Teams, you're gonna get your typical Google search to the left. You're gonna get all your links, and Google's obviously gonna give you the best possible links to that, trying to answer that question, which are gonna be the best links that'll help you install it, a walkthrough, a step-by-step guide on how to download it. Next to your Google search on the right, you're gonna have a small box open up, which is gonna be ChatGPT. And ChatGPT is going to answer whatever you type into the normal Google search bar. It's going to try and answer it with its database and its way of compiling data. So it'll most definitely give you a more precise and extended answer with more details to whatever you search for in Google. So it is similar to ChatGPT's integration into Bing. That's another benefit from Microsoft investment into OpenAI. They are integrating, they're revamping completely Bing and the Edge browser, a combination of both. They're putting ChatGPT inside Bing search engine, so when you look for information, it's not gonna have the same limitation as ChatGPT has, which normally when you go into the ChatGPT chat box with it, it's gonna tell you that it's got a limitation of 2021 database. So any events or things that have happened in 2022 till today, it's gonna have limited knowledge upon that. Now with Bing, whenever you search something up in the web, it's gonna give you all the Bing results. And ChatGPT, what's it's gonna do? It's gonna read into all of those links that Bing brought up, and it's gonna read and compile all that info and give you an updated answer. Basically, it's gonna give you the answer it's gonna give you. It's gonna be with reference to those links that pop up, meaning that compared to the normal ChatGPT text chat text, it's gonna have updated data until it's gonna have lifetime data. If an event happened just 10 minutes ago and newspaper publishes it, you're gonna have that info. ChatGPT is gonna answer you whatever you ask it for about that event that just happened, and it's gonna give you live. It's gonna give you real-time live data of what just happened. Compared to its normal ChatGPT website, which it could possibly tell you that it has no idea of this because it in its database it hasn't happened yet. To its knowledge, it hasn't happened. So here we can see installing it. You can just, as simple as going into Google Chrome, and this is for Google Chrome. You type in ChatGPT, Google Chrome extension. It's gonna give you here links. When you go into it, it's gonna open up the Chrome Web Store where you can find all sorts of extensions. You see this one here, ChatGPT for Google. Just add to Chrome, checking, add extension, and we are done. Just open up a new tab and let's say same question I had, how to install Teams. And you're gonna have your normal Google search to the left, and here to the right you're gonna have your ChatGPT ChatGPT box where it's gonna answer it for you. So now we're going into what's gonna be the new OpenAI / ChatGPT features coming into Teams with Teams' new premium subscription called Teams Premium. So this is another benefit from another example we can see from Microsoft benefit into investing 10 billion into OpenAI. They're now implementing OpenAI's AI into redundancy into Teams with a couple of new features. First, they're gonna have a generating AI automatic tasks for meeting participants. What this is going to do, it's when a meeting recording finishes, when your meeting finishes, you can afterwards, and this is personalized for each participant. So let's say in this meeting there are 3 people, and someone says, okay, Hector, you need to download this document and or you need to install this application and know how to use it for tomorrow, so you can explain to us, right? And how to use it. So afterwards, in the meeting summary, in the meeting details, you're gonna be able to see a section where it says tasks, and the AI is going to automatically create a task for you, saying whenever that person said, Hector, you need to download this application for tomorrow, gonna give you a task saying, you need to download this application for tomorrow, so you can explain to them how to use it tomorrow. So that's gonna be personalized, because the person who told you that you need to download it for tomorrow, it's not gonna have that task for them, because they specifically said, okay, Hector, you need to do this for tomorrow. So it's gonna automatically make the task for you, for me, Hector. So another feature they're gonna have, it's a summary of meetings. After the meeting ends, you have the recording, of course. It's gonna provide you a summary of the meeting, AI generated summary, of course. It's and meaning, let's say for some reason someone missed 1 or 2 meetings today because they had to go to the doctor and they missed it, they would be able to go afterwards the next day or later that day. They can go into Teams, they can go into the meeting details, and they can see a summary of the meeting saying, okay, in this meeting, this, and they talked about this, and that. And it's going to give you all the topics that the AI understood as they were different topics, and it's going to give you brief summary of that. So, and it's also going to have a smart transcription. Right now, you can, whenever you record your meeting, you can record the transcription of the whole meeting. So afterwards, when you go into the recording details, you can see a section where it says transcriptions, and you're gonna have a whole page of everything that was talked about in the meeting. So in this minute, Hector said this sentence, and the next minute Juan said this sentence. So you can go into it, and with this new smart transcription search, let's say, I I remember in this meeting earlier today, we talked about a certain topic, and you need to go over that part again because you forgot something, but you don't know where in that 2 hour recording you or Juan said this topic and started talking about it, mentioned it. You can just go into the search transcription and type in where did we talk about this and that, and it'll just open it'll search the whole transcription, and okay, here and here. It's going to highlight you whenever you mentioned anything that you typed. Whenever you mention whatever you typed, it's going to highlight it, and you can just jump through it until you see, oh, here we started talking about this. You click on the highlighted word, and it's going to pull in the on the left. You're going to have your recording, and it's going to move the playtime of the recording to the exact minute where that topic was mentioned or word was mentioned, and you can just click the recording and start start playing the recording from where you started talking about that topic. So you don't have to sit down through the whole hour and a half to wait until you mention that to see that part of the recording. It's going to really help you save time if you need to jump to a specific part of a recording. So another feature they are rolling out, it's translating captions live during meetings. It's got over 40 languages available. And how this works, it's let's say you have a meeting of 10 people, and one of them only talks in English, and the rest of the nine other talk English and Spanish, but primarily they all prefer Spanish. So for the rest of the 9 people, so they don't have to change and all talk English, because maybe one of them is not too comfortable with it, or not too fluent with the English, and it's just one person, let's say, that speaks only English. The person that only speaks English can select, okay, everyone else is going to be talking in Spanish. They're going to select in the team's meeting settings, they're going to select spoken language Spanish. And you want it to end, then you're going to have another option saying that if you want to translate it and have the captions in English, or do you want it in any other 40 languages? So in this case, you're going to be saying, yes, spoken language Spanish, translate to English. And while everyone is talking, it's going to be real time translating and generating the transcriptions in English for that specific person. So it'll really help with language barriers, which I've seen, and it's gonna be really good for it's gonna be way more productive than just maybe waiting for the meeting to end to explain this person what happened, or meanwhile talking people getting confused or something with the language. So all of these features, they are not completely available right now, but Microsoft is still rolling them out throughout this month. Hopefully next month we will all have them. And the same thing goes with the Bing and Edge integration with ChatGPT. It is still not available, but I'm one of the people who are in the wait list to get earlier access to it. But all of this is just basically preparing all of you, so you guys can know what to expect, and already know what the big changes are. So for when they arrive, you know what they are and can start using them as quickly as possible. And believe me, productivity is gonna go over the roof with all these. They are extremely helpful new features and functionalities. So with that said, I'm gonna leave you guys with Noe. He's gonna be talking a bit of more into ChatGPT's working with Business Central. So Noe.
And well, the main idea of how I use it, because for me as a consultant, I need to cover requirements for the implementations of our systems, ERPs, right? And when I tried ChatGPT for the first time, I was wondering how it can help me, right? So I started playing around with it a little. But then I get to the point that suddenly I had something at work that I needed to solve. Is for a customer, there's a situation where there's a in the ERP somebody purchases items, right? And we need to deliver from a warehouse, but there is no availability. So I wanted to understand how ChatGPT could help me in order to do so. So I started to ask, let me just show you some of the queries that I did first. And then how I use it then later after just my first experience is help me with order fulfillment workflow. Okay. So this is something that is a simple process. We need to cover if we have, yes, items, let's just ship it for a customer. That's the idea. And then, yes, he's going to give me an answer about after you receive an order, first, what is the order fulfillment idea? This can happen through various channels, online, phone orders, you get me. So we have a lot of requests. We call it demand. And then, well, it's going to explain me well or give me an insight overall of in a very summarized way for me to understand, first of all, the concept. Right. And I have seen sometimes there are some dumb answers. Just I don't think it's going to be getting better. It's going to get better. I certainly believe. But here's the simple answer of what is the order fulfillment. And I'm just showing this to you to get to the point what I'm trying to explain. So this is the first. I'm understanding what's the order fulfillment concept. But then there is a requirement when I have to do a presentation, right? So I was thinking about, okay, I want to depict this in Visio. And Visio is this software where I actually use these different shapes and connect them with dots and do an explanation and blah, blah, blah. So make a diagram or workflow to then get an idea, right? In a visualized and very structured way. So I do this all the time, but I want some help to make a summary. I know this is very good for this, to make these explanations or concepts or integrate complex information into a very simple way of showing things as a summary. But the thing is that I don't have a license for this software. So I asked to ChatGPT, is there a free Visio version? So with this, he taught me that, yeah, there is a Microsoft is explaining what is Vision basically, but in addition, it tells me that yes, it exists. And there are other options even because I'm looking for a free workflow and shapes diagram tool that helps me to actually cover this purpose. So this was awesome. In the very first minute that I was actually using it, I have plenty of different options that I can try. So I try, then I like Visual because it's quite more popular. So in this case, I just ask in ChatGPT, could you help me in creating a Visual workflow for order fulfillment step by step? Because what I found with ChatGPT is that you need to ask more precise questions about what you actually need. So this is integrating a new software to tell me how to use it with the order fulfillment previous concept. But this might be for me that I'm a basic user learning for the first time, so I want a step by step. So I found that these three components in my statement was super useful to include them. So then ChatGPT is now structuring some more complex information then to add, and let me just wait for the answer. It's generated. Sometimes I think that I don't know how many people is inside GPT right now, but sometimes work faster. Sometimes I cannot even access at some points in the morning, and that's my experience at least. But well, it's understandable from the charts that we saw already, where there is a application or artificial intelligence app, a software is actually going, well, it's exploding, right? So what I found, yeah, is while this is explaining me what to do, I want to point out that this is actually telling me open a specific tool, open Visio in your computer, go to this button, go to this menu, go do this and that. Even told me to start with a, let me just show you, start with an start and a shape into your workflow, because I don't even know maybe what are the concepts of making a workflow design, what are the specific icons to be used. And then, well, I'm just following step by step. I just started with the start icon, right? That be this explanation told me to do. He told me to go to shapes. Well, this is in Spanish, sorry. Going to shapes, select this specific icon or shape, introduce it, connect it to the first dot, and even told me at some point, and it was so cool, do an inventory check, okay? Whether you have it or not, well, that's going to be a decision-making point that is included here, right? Well, you need to start from this point, then connect a starting point with your explanation about what is the sales that is requested, and then do a decision making. And then if you have the inventory or not, right? Simple as. And then just continue doing your other verification steps until you get, well, if you have an inventory, well, you're going to go and create these dots or topics about the connections in the workflow for the warehouses, okay? So, and that happens only if I have just the availability. If not, of course, I'm just going to end all of this simple decision-making process with the ordering complete, right? That's it. So this is a very structured way, and very, I like it a lot, with just 12 steps to do this. In 12 steps only, I learned that there's a free version of a software that I want to use that I haven't ever used, and told me what to do. Go to this, go to there, do this and do that. And I just was following just simply instruction. Okay, start, end, then do an inventory check, then do the labeling for shipping once I have the items, right? And then it's just told me, add some other decision shapes and use a diamond specifically. And well, and this will be your order processing. So in my experience, then, just to tell you, this was super useful. I did this in maybe 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, because, well, I changed the colors and things like that. I'm still a human. I'm still want to make something that might be pointing out with colors, so something more flashy maybe. But the idea is that I actually, well, for me, my experience, I don't know if in the future this is going to be a career where you are going to be a designer using ChatGPT. You would need some experience making the correct questions. You need a specific background on your area, of course. But at any given point, well, this is going to help me undoubtedly with the tasks that I'm actually just compiling and completing for me to then just cover and deliver it, right? For the first time, believe me. And this is not bad, right? So it looks good. I like it. So, well, also, actually, I still need to rethink on this process. Later, my customer and my team told me that, well, this needs some changes that I need to cover with the central. And then once I came back to ChatGPT, it also helped them to actually do the final decision making for me to continue exploring different options. But look at this, okay? This is simple to understand. Nothing else. Okay, so after this, what I want to do and show you guys another tool for productivity that we have in Teams, actually. So it's a connection with Business Central, right? Business Central ERP, just to give you a brief explanation, many of you or most of you already know it. This is a ERP. It's in the cloud solution where we have, well, all our different modules, right? So I'm not going to go too much into it. I'm just telling you that, well, as an accountant, for instance, or well, I'm actually in Optimus working. Let's just do a real example. Actually, I have integrated Teams within the ERP solution. Here is Teams. And, well, we can work together. If I just, for instance, in the pre-sales teams, right? I will then look for anybody here in my team. Let's search for one of let's look for Paula, right? And she's one of my coworkers that I actually always need to review information. We sell to you guys and other companies. Well, the solution. So we need to review, let's say, on our hand. Hello, Paola. I'm in a webinar, and I want to share new contacts. Okay, or well, let me show you information of salespeople, sales we have done in the past. Okay, so I'm just creating a chat with a specific meeting that we have or communications that I'm having with Paula. And she asked me something, okay, I want to know information about this customer or this contact that we have here. Look at this in Business Central. And we have this tool now in every chat. We can just go to the Business Central section. And okay, I'm just going to share information about a person that we have here. So I have contacts in Outlook, in Business Central, and of course, Teams. Okay, so in this case, let me just add another teammate here. So I have Alexandra Soleta, or if I want to find information inside my contacts of Business Central, here is Jorge Alejandro Martinez. So this guy here is a contact of us that we created inside a Business Central. He's a customer. He could be a vendor or a bank contact, right? So we have all the contact information here, and we can just from here add it. And then, well, look at this. I'm going to get inside all the contact card information from this person here, the company, and all, well, other data, right? Let me just move this. I cannot share all the information, but I can just basically open and the application Business Central from here to go directly to the place that I'm actually sharing. While, let me just close this. Here is the summary. Look at this. This was taken from Business Central. This is a contact card. Good. Other useful other use that we have here is actually in Teams. Teams is like different people that we gather to share posts. Look at this. This is my team, pre-sales team. We are sharing information. Very cool. It is like Facebook, right? Where we can just share information and do our posts in this specific area to share then our thoughts and on a daily basis. Well, we record here. This is our social media for my team, okay? And this is why we call this called Teams. I have plenty of that. But if I wanted, and with my pre-sales team, I could just work and come to Business Central. Once again, here is the app, right? And then I can share customers' information, right? From Business Central. This is something that we always need to actually update. Let's say that verified information about our customers on a daily basis. What's the telephone number of this customer? So we can actually include it here. Let me just save it. And there it is. So from now on our own teams where we share our posts, once again, like Facebook or files, because we can upload data, then from now on, we can check all the list of customers just directly in Teams, because I always need to, once again, I would open this, but in this case, we would need to click on any given customer, update the telephone number, verify the last sales operation or the balance if they have paid something at any given point. Well, within the sales team, we can see all our operation together directly from Teams app. Okay, that will be the main idea here, but as well, at any given point, if I want to then share any other information, specific information directly from Business Central, actually, if I just open, let me see. Once again, Business Central. I would like to then my boss is asking me for posted sales invoices. Who has paid already, Noé, or something like that? I want to see a simple a report or something that you can share with me. Yeah, immediately I'll send it to you, Vishal. He's my boss. So I want to see the last customers that actually already paid or unpaid invoices, right? So why not to, well, once we get the information in Business Central that we have, I have a list of customers that haven't paid. This is just basically our demo information, right? And then I can just immediately open from this place, this share to Teams option. And from here, a pop-up window is going to appear because in this example, well, while this is connecting, the idea is that it's going to create a simple link for us, right? Only showing what I have just filtered. So immediately I can send him what he needed. So I'm going to share now within this window. I'm going to find a contact and immediately send him this. Whatever he asks me, yeah, right from Business Central, a report, or in this case, well, this sample data, I'm just gonna be able to send him to his chat. So he from on the other side, when he opens, he's gonna see it as a chat. Okay, so that will be then this. And just if you want to add it, just to finish, then I will just tell you that you can include, go to Teams and go to the apps section. And from here, just to finish, you can search for Business Central. And with this, then we can find this app, right? Click on it, and then you are going to be able to add it. In this case, well, I have already done it, but instead of open, you're going to then install. You're going to see the option install into your own Teams. This will be requiring then just for you to do this simple installation, and then you can do exactly what I just have shown today. So thank you very much. Then I'm going to be finishing my part, and I'm going to then give some time for my next presenter, which will be Jorge. Thank you very much.
Do an additional integration with Teams. That integration is something that I'm going to be showing you in a couple of minutes. Basically, the idea is try to bring ChatGPT as a participant, as a person in Teams. So if you want to interact directly with ChatGPT, you could do it using Teams. How to do it? Basically, you just need to create a Power Automate with just 2 steps. The first one is going to be one that is going to allow you to identify or receive the information that or the comments that are happening in Teams. This one is going to identify the channel, and is going to identify a word that is going to allow ChatGPT to understand that you are talking with him. And after that is going to interact with the ChatGPT API. And in that way, you're going to have that answer in Teams. So that's the technical way to do it. It's pretty simple in regular terms. But how to use it? Basically, you could just come here to Teams, and in the channel that you identify, or the channel that you configure. In this case, we configure this channel. We could interact directly with ChatGPT. So you just need to open a new conversation, use the word that you configure. That should be this word, and that's it. And after that, you could just ask ChatGPT directly using Teams. So you could how to convert. I don't know, let's say USD to Australian dollars. Or I mean, do any question directly here using Teams, and the ChatGPT is going to be answering you directly here. So what we are trying to present you is that there are additional ways to get advantage of ChatGPT directly using Teams. Additionally, we are going to be integrating ChatGPT in Dynamics CRM. And again, we could start doing many different things with the integration between Teams and ChatGPT. At this moment, we are just integrating just for us additional question or something like that. but you could configure the Teams integration to do specific things like generate tasks, like send emails, like many different things that you could start asking to ChatGPT to do. So at this moment on our Teams, any person in Optimus could just enter to this chat room, to this channel, and start asking things directly to ChatGPT. So basically, that's the integration that I just wanted to show you. As I mentioned, is kind of simple because you just need to create a connector with Teams, define a keyword that you want to validate, and after that, just configure an HTTP API invocation to define what's the I mean to get the answer from ChatGPT. So basically, that's the practical functionality that I just wanted to show you. And that's it. Thanks for your time.